Welcome to Dark Love Psychology. Have you ever felt like someone was keeping you in the dark, not lying, but simply not telling you everything? That's not always an accident. Sometimes, withholding information is a power move, a way to control emotions, decisions, and even your sense of reality. Chapter 1. What is withholding information? Withholding information is not about keeping random secrets. It's a calculated omission. It's when someone deliberately leaves out details that could change your perception, feelings, or decisions. It's a form of manipulation that hides behind the phrase, "A partner doesn't mention that their ex texted them." They didn't cheat, but they withheld that detail to avoid confrontation, guilt, or exposure. The power lies in the imbalance of knowledge. One knows the truth, the other makes decisions based on half of it. Chapter 2. Why people use secrets as control. At its core, the act of keeping a secret from someone you're close to is often about maintaining psychological leverage. This isn't about healthy personal boundaries or the simple need for privacy. Instead, it's a subtle, often unconscious strategy to create an imbalance of power. The secret keeper holds a crucial piece of the puzzle, a piece the other person doesn't even know is missing. This information asymmetry is the foundation upon which control is built. When you know more than the other person, you effectively become the director of your shared reality. You control the narrative. Think about a friendship where one person knows their partner is being unfaithful, but chooses not to tell the other. By withholding this information, they aren't just keeping a secret, they are actively shaping their friend's perception of their relationship, their happiness, and their future. They hold the power to shatter that reality at any moment, and that power is a heavy, controlling weight. You get to decide what the other person believes, how they feel, and what they do next. You become the gatekeeper of their emotional experience, granting access only to the parts of the truth you deem acceptable. This dynamic is especially potent in the world of dating. One person may cultivate an air of mystery about their past relationships or their daily life. This isn't always because they're a private person, but because they understand that mystery equals power. They offer vague answers and intriguing hints, consciously leaving gaps in their story. This tactic keeps the other person perpetually chasing for answers, investing more and more emotional energy to figure them out. Every small revelation feels like a reward, a prize won through persistence. This transforms the relationship from a partnership into a pursuit, with one person always on the back foot, trying to earn the truth. It creates a powerful sense of uncertainty, which keeps people hooked. This is the psychological equivalent of a slot machine. The intermittent reward of information makes the pursuit addictive. It also builds dependency, because the one who lacks information constantly seeks validation and clarity from the one who holds it. Their sense of reality becomes tethered to the secret keeper's disclosures. And finally, it feeds the ego, because a sense of power grows in the space where transparency and vulnerability should be. The secret becomes a monument to their control. Take a moment to reflect. In your relationships, where does privacy end and secrecy begin? Are there any information imbalances that make you feel powerless or powerful? Recognizing this dynamic is the first step. In essence, secrets become a tool of control by creating an unequal distribution of knowledge, which in turn fosters dependency and feeds the ego of the one in power. Chapter 3. The subtle signs you're being controlled. Control isn't always a loud, overt act. Sometimes it's a quiet whisper, a slow erosion of your reality built on the foundation of secrets. It's a form of manipulation that thrives in the shadows of what's left unsaid. So, how do you know when someone is using secrets to control you? The signs are often subtle, designed to make you question your own perception and intuition. Let's explore the red flags that signal this hidden control. First, they give vague, evasive answers when you ask direct questions. You might ask, "How was your day?" and get a simple "fine," with no details. Or, "Who were you with?" And the answer is a non-committal, "Just some people." This isn't about a desire for privacy. It's about creating an information imbalance. They hold the cards, and you're left guessing. This leads to the second sign. You often feel confused or uncertain about what's true. This feeling is a form of emotional fog, a direct result of their secrecy. You might find yourself replaying conversations, trying to piece together a timeline that doesn't add up. This constant state of doubt isn't a flaw in your perception. It's a manufactured environment designed to keep you off balance. Third, conversations about their secrecy somehow always end with you apologizing, even when you did nothing wrong. You might bring up a concern about their behavior, and by the end of the discussion, you're the one saying sorry for being too sensitive or untrusting. This is a classic manipulation tactic called DARVO: deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. They flip the script, making your valid feelings the problem. Fourth, they use dismissive language to shut down your inquiries. They say things like, "You're overthinking," "You're being paranoid," or the ultimate gatekeeping phrase, "You don't need to know that." These statements aren't just dismissive, they are declarations of power. They position themselves as the arbiter of what information you are worthy of receiving. For example, you ask, "Why didn't you tell me you went out last night?" They reply, "It wasn't important." But the truth is, it wasn't important to them that you know. The impact on you was never part of their equation. That subtle dismissal, that unilateral decision about what matters, is the core of the control. It's a strategy that keeps you small, dependent, and doubting yourself. Take a moment to reflect. Do your conversations leave you feeling clear and respected, or confused and diminished? The answer reveals the truth. Chapter 4. The psychological impact of information control. When information is withheld, your mind starts filling in the blanks, and that's where the real control begins. You start replaying conversations, overanalyzing every word, blaming yourself for not being enough to be trusted. This is known as cognitive dissonance, when your heart and brain can't agree because the truth is incomplete. You feel emotionally addicted to the very person who confuses you. You sense they're hiding something, but they act calm and innocent. You doubt your intuition, and that's exactly what they want. Confusion keeps you compliant. Chapter 5. Common tactics of secret keepers. Secrecy is a powerful tool for manipulators, allowing them to create a separate reality where they are in complete control. It's not just about lying, it's about strategically withholding information to dominate a relationship. Let's break down the common tactics they use, so you can recognize them. First is selective honesty. This is a particularly insidious tactic where they tell you just enough truth to gain your trust, while hiding the key details that would change the story entirely. For example, they might admit they went out for a drink after work, but conveniently omit that it was with an ex-partner. The partial truth makes you feel unreasonable for questioning them further, creating a perfect cover for their deception. Next, there's mystery framing. This is when they romanticize their secrecy, portraying it as a sign of depth or independence. They might say things like, "I'm just a complex person," or "You wouldn't understand." They act like being private makes them deep or independent. In reality, they are building walls, not bridges. Healthy partners value sharing their inner world with you. They don't use it as a fortress to keep you out. Then comes deflection. When you get too close to a truth they're hiding, they'll abruptly change the subject or, more aggressively, turn the tables on you. They change topics or make you feel guilty for asking questions. You might ask about a strange charge on a credit card bill, and they'll respond with, "Why are you always snooping? Don't you trust me?" Suddenly, you are the one on trial, and their secret remains safely hidden. Another common tactic is triangulation. To validate their secrecy or point of view, they bring a third person into the mix, often an anonymous friend or colleague. They'll say, "My friend said it's totally normal to keep this private," using this invisible third party to normalize their behavior and make you feel like you're the one with the problem. This misdirection isolates you and makes it seem like you're outnumbered. Finally, there's emotional withdrawal. When confronted about a secret, they shut down completely. They go silent, refuse to engage, and give you the cold shoulder. This punishment is designed to make you feel insecure, anxious, and needy. The unspoken message is clear. If you question me, I will withdraw my affection. Over time, you learn to stop asking questions to avoid the pain of their silence. Often, these tactics are capped with a classic justification. A manipulative partner might say, "I didn't tell you because I knew you'd get upset." Listen closely to what that really means. The translation is, "I wanted to do what I wanted, without facing the consequences or your valid feelings. So I used your emotions as a preemptive excuse to justify my secrecy." They make their deception your fault. Recognizing these tactics is the first step toward reclaiming your reality. Chapter 6. How withholding creates emotional dependency. When someone withholds information, your brain experiences intermittent reinforcement, the same psychological mechanism used in gambling. You never know when the truth will come out, so you keep betting emotionally, hoping for clarity. They disappear for days and then come back acting sweet. You feel relief, and that relief becomes addictive. They've taught your brain to crave their validation as the only truth that matters. This is how secrecy becomes a psychological leash. Chapter 7. How to protect yourself. Awareness is your first weapon. If you sense someone is using secrets to control you, take these steps. Ask direct questions. Watch how they respond, not just what they say. Trust your discomfort. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't chase clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion. Keep emotional distance until you see consistent honesty. If someone says, "You don't need to know everything," respond calmly. Transparency isn't control, it's respect. That simple boundary often reveals their true intentions. Chapter 8. Healing after being kept in the dark. If you've been manipulated through secrecy, understand this. You were never weak for trusting. You were just honest in a game that rewarded deceit. Healing means reclaiming your clarity. Stop seeking answers from the person who hid them. Start trusting your own perception again. Write down what you do know. It grounds you in reality. Journaling every incomplete truth helps you see the pattern. And once you see the pattern, you break the spell. In a world full of half-truths and emotional manipulation, clarity is rebellion. When you choose honesty with yourself and others, you remove their control. Secrets may create mystery, but truth creates peace. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to Dark Love Psychology for more insights and tips to help you succeed. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next video.